Hello, welcome to this week's Aelita Diaries. COVID has not conquered me yet. Just like the other virus we fight, this thing is powerless to stop me. So we're on episode 70, Skidblanir. Yes, its name is weird. Yes, Odd can pronounce it, let alone anyone else can pronounce it. They call it the Skid for short. And it's time to go to everybody's favorite new gold mine, Norse mythology. The Skidblanir is actually the name of Odin and Freya's god ship, able to handle any journey and successfully return no matter what rough the seas is. This again Bally's back on France's and by extension Aelita's love of Viking culture. That's why I never understood why Aelita's virtual form doesn't look closer to a Valkyrie or a neo-tech looking Viking in future seasons. Could you imagine a badass claymore sword or a see-through transparent energy shield with a Valkyrie style get up with the wings in the back? It would be badass shit. But why all this? Because, well, they're building the virtual ship. Teased in two previous episodes on our journey, it's now finally time to see it. Now, the downside is the opening title crawl of the episode count kind of gives away the final design of the skid. This is a gross oversight and a mistake made. But by and large, this episode is just one big chase to get the ship built. And unfortunately, and for the first time ever, Aelita gets busted alongside Jeremy. And now the pressure's on to get out of detention in enough time to enter the final part of the code to make the ship a real boy, which unfortunately also elicits a battle with William at the ship's main deck to make sure the job gets done. As is the battles in season 4, the tension couldn't be any higher or any less, and the battles are really good. Plus, we get to pretty much see Aelita pull a spirit bomb out of her ass, which is also pretty cool. Showing William and teaching William where to stick it. The ship is, of course, complete, which leads to the bigger and more important episode next week in Maiden Voyage. But by and large, the episode executes exactly what needs to be done. The tension for building the ship, the thing in the way, obviously, Jim. And of course, the William battle at the very last second before the good guys come in clutch. This is one of the few times where the Gylita pairing, as it's called, shows its actual usefulness and actual goodness for once. Jeremy's not being a total inconsiderate douchebag, and Aelita gets to show her technical prowess in and out of battle with the Axles supercomputer tech, while the rest of the team does what they do best: excellent support. Even Yumi is back in the big chair for a little bit, and she does competently. In other words, every character and every situation in this episode works. An actual episode that is done flawless to its purpose. And that's why it's getting the flawless 6 out of 6 perfect score. This is just a simple, well executed, well experted episode. There's nothing really negative to say. And because of the thrill of seeing the Skidblanir in actual use next week, it builds up to something incredibly awesome. And this is why season 4 is superior to season 3 in every way. Every episode, every plot, every reasoning chains into each other and leads to something better, cooler, faster. It successfully builds anticipation for the next cool thing, while also being slice of life enough to allow weird things to happen. In other words, Code Lyoko, at least this early in season 4's run, finally establishes a perfect balance between the season 1 random stuff and the season 2 plot stuff, making season 3 even more of an albatross. But next week with Maiden Voyage, things are going things are going to get even weirder as the world of Lyoko and the lore behind it continues to grow, and plus the main hook of the rest of the way of this season's plot finally introduces itself. Get this, 7 episodes in. This season is so aided by the pseudo slow burn, and next week is yet another example of why this season just totally works. You may not be able to say Skidblanir. Heck, you might not be able to even spell it. But it's a name that we in the Lyoko fandom most certainly have not forgotten. Set sail, ye virtual hearties. And we'll see you next week when the Skid goes on mission 1. Find peace in your own nirvana, and thank God I sound normal.